Welcome to the 5 o'clock news. I'm your anchor, Trevor Fitzgerald. This is my co-anchor, Sean Lane. We have exciting news to bring you today. Earlier, the U.S. Senate Environmental and Public Works Committee met to hear testimony about 3 bills currently on the Senate floor.
We had a chance to look in on the proceedings, and the first to speak was a lobbyist representing the petroleum industry. And here's what he had to say about the bills.
I'd like to say that we feel that government regulation of our industry as described in the proposed legislation is not only unnecessary, but economically unreasonable.
Well, there's no surprise there, Trevor. The energy sector doesn't want any more restrictions.
I agree, Sean. Now let's see what the environmentalists have to say. Next up was Nick Slocum of the National Resource Defense Council.
We are devoted to protecting and building upon environmental laws, including the Clean Air Act, which we help to lobby for. Existing environmental laws are a step in the right direction, but to truly have a positive effect on global warming, our laws must be stronger.
And in regard to Senate Bill 485, which weakens the Clean Air Act, this is what he had to say.
And the cost to the public far outweigh any of the benefits to the power industry.
That seemed to be the resounding opinion of the groups.
The environmentalists met strong resistance on the Senate panel from Senator James Inhofe, a Republican from Oklahoma, during the Q&A portion. Here's how he introduced his comments.
First by saying, I do not believe there is global warming. I've expressed my opinion before, so I'm not going to do it again due to time constraint.
He then proceeded to ask the automotive industry questions aimed to help their cause.
Do you think the regulations like 1554 would make you uncompetitive? But then if it wasn't passed, you would then be more competitive?
The environmental groups weren't so lucky. They were asked questions for just the opposite reasons.
I want to say that renewable energy is virtually limitless, and theoretically you could provide the entire country with its electricity needs by taking today's solar photovoltaic, no one even idea what that is, and putting in 100 square miles of Arizona desert. Theoretically, I can swim around the world. I'm still going to get eaten by a shark, all right?
That statement didn't make much sense.
Yeah, perhaps you should go swim around the world then.
We had a chance to catch up with Bradley Lutz of the auto industry after the proceedings.
Well, we feel that the current situation for the automotive industry is somewhat acceptable, but we feel that any additional legislative any actions by the legislature to further limit the actions of the auto industry in terms of increased restrictions could hamper our market share and would further hinder any economic benefit or economic progress that the auto industry could make, and as a result the American people would be able to make.
After such comments from Senator Inhofe during the Q&A, we wanted to pick his brain a little more to see why he feels so strongly the way he does, or to see if it was working at all.
There's a whole constituency of scientists that say that global warming does not exist. They need more evidence. NASA themselves said that the ocean levels have not.
Do you name any of the scientists?
I'm going to say that the scientists at NASA have evidence that in the last 5 years, the ocean temperature has not changed, and that is the paramount thing for global warming. That ocean temperature has not changed.
The voice of reason came from the alternative energy industry. When asked about how adopting alternative energy would affect jobs, this is what they had to say.
If we were given the subsidies, if we were to implement wind power in certain sects, it could create as much as 20,000 different types of jobs, all stemming from research and development, implementation, actually implementing the technology, things of that nature.
In the automotive industry alone, it would create 42,000 jobs.
We weren't the only ones Senator Inhofe left an impression on.
He's entitled to his bias, but I think it's irrelevant if you believe in global warming or not, because fossil fuels are non-renewable. They are going to run out, so we must invest in alternative energy if we want to remain competitive internationally and sustain energy.
In the end, the Senate panel voted to keep Bill S-485 on the floor. The other 2 bills, S-309 and S-1554, were approved and sent to the President. Tune in next week, and we'll update you on their progress, as we know this debate is far from over. I'm Sean Lane.
And I'm Trevor Fitzgerald.
And for all of us at GBL Studios, good night and good luck.